Hi once again. We are now in class number 26, I believe, of the Road to Victory course. And the last time I spoke to you about, what was it now? The processes for finding out how to discover your purpose in life. Now, the one which is in the book, Road to Victory, is a little bit long and a little bit complex, but you need to read it anyway because there are details in there that will help you to find that purpose in life. And everybody has a purpose in life. As I said before, you are like a seed, and within that seed, if you have an oak tree seed, I don't know if oak trees have seeds or not, but take anything, a lemon tree. A lemon seed has a command in it that says, make a lemon tree. Now I want to tell you something very interesting about that in a minute. So last time I was talking about how to find your purpose in life. I also have a process which is done on the telephone. I didn't create that process. It was created by a chap named Jim Leonard. He is the discoverer of a process of breathing called vivation. I actually had some private sessions with him. Very nice gentleman. And to this day, I use this system which he discovered on discovering your purpose in life. He's also the author of several books. And so it's his, and it's phenomenal. I give it on the phone. I never had a dissatisfied client. Everybody walks out of my studio walking on a cloud. I do it on the phone. If you're interested in finding out more about it, go to my website, which is gmagno.com, gmagno.com, and go to the page number 7, which is the catalog page, which is called the products, and there you'll see the Road to Victory. No, I'm sorry, you scroll down. You see Road to Victory there too, and you scroll down a little ways, and then there's telephone consultations, and you go ahead and sign up for a consultation. It takes about an hour, and very, very interesting. I'm not going to tell you anything. I just ask you a few simple questions, and you're there with pencil and paper, you're on the phone, and you're writing the answers to these questions. They're very short answers, very, very interesting. And at first you will not know what all this has to do with your purpose in life. But then at the end it integrates most beautifully. Very simple to find your purpose in life. I do it all the time here with my students. So that's one way that you can do if you're in a hurry to find your purpose in life. Of course, these things can't be done in a hurry. You have to take your time. For example, when I injured my hand and I couldn't perform classically on the guitar anymore, and I went to LA, I was very lonely there because I couldn't perform anymore. I mean, I still played, but just to sing pop songs didn't turn me on that much. I used to mix it with classical pieces on the guitar. And so in a case like that, when I was in LA, it took me a long time because I had lost that career as a performer and I had to start another career. So the way it turned out, you know, it took me like about 4 years, but in those 4 years I learned many things. I learned how to write good advertisements that sell. I learned that directly with Melvin Powers. I didn't take a class or anything. He took a liking to me. He liked the guitar, so every time I went to visit him at his office, he would ask me to tune his guitar. And so, in fact, he let me use some of his advertisements without pay. Very nice fellow, Melvin Powers. So I used this technique, and I learned to write more. So in those 4 years, I did a lot to train myself because I was confused. I didn't know what I was going to do. And then as it turned out, my purpose was there all the time. I was born a teacher. I was born teaching. I remember working with kids when I was a kid, trying to teach them something, except I didn't go about it quite right. It's all in my autobiography if you ever read it. It's very interesting. So it takes a little time to find out your purpose in life. But in a case where you're changing from one profession to another, that takes longer, but not necessarily. So this process by phone on your purpose in life should give great results. So we are now, there was a little bit more on the purpose in life from my book, but I'm not going to do it now because it is a little bit complex. So I'm going to go right on to Sublime Realm number 2. With Sublime Realm number 2, you will be listening to Beethoven's Symphony number 2. And I mean really listen to those symphonies. I mean, don't just read it. In fact, this is not a book that you read. This is a book, a manual that you use from day to day. You've got to read each realm at least 3 times in order to get it. And so, Realm 2, the number 2, you have this cycle between 1 and 9, and then it starts from 10, which is really 1. So, realm number 2, the number 2 signifies 2 opposites. You have the male on one side, you have the female on the other side. So that's the law of duality. It is throughout the whole universe. And you have the good and the evil, the black and the white, the hot and the cold. All of nature has this duality as a law of being. It's a universal law. Now, we get in trouble in life, unless we know how to stay away from trouble, as I will go into in a minute. We, living life, we are actually victims of these 2 laws, the good and the evil. Now I'm going to show you how to stay. The secret of it is equanimity. If you can learn to stay in the middle point between the evil and the good, you're all set. Takes a little bit of thinking. I'm going to demonstrate something to you right now. I'm going to balance this ruler on my finger. I hope you can see it. Now, when one side goes down, you have the evil here and the good is up. And the opposite, that way. Now, the idea, what I like you to consider, is to remain in the very center. At that very center, that is the point of static. There is no motion in the very center. And that is the place where you have equanimity. You're quite balanced between the two. If you can remain in equanimity, in balance, you will not suffer the consequences of the changes between the good and the bad. It takes a while to work on that. But anyway, that law apparently is necessary in life. I don't know exactly why, and one thing I told you before, and I'll tell you again, I never tried to teach something that I never experienced. Now there's a lot that I have experienced beyond what the average of us experience. But if I haven't experienced something within myself, then I don't teach it. Everything that I say, I experienced, or at least is based on a smaller experience. So, I don't know exactly why we have this law. There are many explanations, and if you didn't know evil, you wouldn't know what good would be, and all kinds of things like that. But then it goes into mysticism and it gets confusing. So, we have this duality, and the duality that I'm interested in is your purpose in life. I know I keep repeating this, but that is how important it is. You have your own personal purpose in life. Then you align that purpose with the purpose of life itself. Now, we have spoken about your personal purpose in Realm 1. Now we're going to talk more about the purpose of life itself. You have to discover what the purpose of life is.